What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, and today we're going to talk about the top sectors for you to invest headed forward 2025. We're going to go over some of the best ones that you should be considering investing in because remember, you want to pick categories, you want to pick sectors, and then find the best stocks and the best opportunities within those sectors. I mean, imagine if you could have gotten into AI semiconductors 5 years ago, right? Or if you would have invested in NVIDIA 5 years ago. That's what we're looking for in this situation. And we're going to break down some macroeconomic trends such as AI, green energy, biotech. We're going to get into all that, talk about some of the top stocks to consider moving forward. Just always remember this is not professional financial advice. You always need to do your own research. This is just to get you guys the information out there so you guys have insights into where to start looking, start digging, and that's what we're going to get into. So some of the suggested sectors that we're going to talk about. Thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes as we get this video out there. And thank you to all of our new subscribers that are coming in. So the first one is artificial intelligence and automation. So, the big one that comes up for this one is going to be like NVIDIA, right? So, what's the next NVIDIA? Well, if you guys watched our last video where I talked about the top 12 stocks that I'm invested in, or the 12 stocks that I've actually been investing in here in 2025, I talked about AMD, I talked about Taiwan Semiconductors. Any of those, if you can get in those right there, that's some pretty good opportunities for long-term gains. If you look at where they've been, as far as the price before and then where they're at now, some of them are down 25%, 30% in this situation that we're in with the economy being the way that it is. So AMD is one that I personally have invested in. Obviously, do your own research. That's Advanced Micro Devices. Now we're moving into another sector called clean and renewable energy. So if you look at this is like waste management, for example. You could say, let's say, getting into that one's on an actually, if I'm looking at the chart correctly here, that one's up quite a bit. So we'd be looking at some newer ones that you could be looking at moving forward. One of the largest ones that's related to hydroelectric, solar, wind, storage. You have Next Era Energy. I'm not a big fan of wind, but it is considered a renewable energy. I do like solar. I think solar's got potential. Geothermal seems like it's a strong one. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of wind just because of the way that the wind, those wind turbines look up on the mountains. I'm just not a big fan of that. Hydroelectric, that's another clean energy. But you have First Solar, that's a US-based panel manufacturer. You have Brookfield Renewable Partners. So you've got quite a few that you can take a look at inside that category. I'm not saying any of those are necessarily buy signals, but those are ones that you could take a look at. And I would say doing a deep dive into that area right there, you could probably find some solid gainers moving forward in that area. Another one is biotechnology healthcare stocks. So this one is obviously popular. Healthcare is always a big thing. If you can find some of the older ones, that's maybe a safer play. I'm not really big on this category, but it is popular just because, it's hard to really pick and choose which ones are doing ethical things or, there's a lot of controversy behind all of that. Some people say it's necessary to advance, that we find these AI driven chips and all this stuff. And, it's just tough. But United Healthcare Group, you have something like Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Intuitive Surgical. I mean, it just depends on how far into it you want to get, But for me, like I said, that's a sector it's a tough play. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just something that's a little bit tougher for me to get into because I'm not really into what comes along with it. You know what I mean? The outcomes that they have to do to get profit. But I do think that healthcare is a big industry and it's needed. Another one is cybersecurity. You have Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike. You have Sentinel One, Fortinet. You can look these up, but CrowdStrike seems like the most popular one in that for a safe play long term if you're looking for something in that arena. And then you have FinTech and digital payments. So with this, you have you could use almost like Coinbase. You could even say like just investing in the entire crypto market. You have Block, formerly known as Square. You have Visa, MasterCard. You have SoFi, Fidelity. I mean, JP Morgan has ETFs, Berkshire Hathaway. I mean, any of those could be something that's interesting. FinTech being financial technology, someone who's moving the ball forward in the arena of finance, something that is deeply needed in this day and age. Another one that we have here is going to be data infrastructure, cloud computing. So with this, you're going to have data centers. I mean, this is big. Amazon's been someone who's been an e-commerce play for a long time, but now they've added Amazon AWS, which has actually been around for a while. It's the world's largest cloud platform, actually. So Amazon's a big one on that. Microsoft with the Azure, they're pretty big. I mean, data is huge. Big data. That's another one like Palantir. That's one that I talked about on that last video. Google's gotten into it. I mean, everywhere I go around the world, I see data centers. Phoenix is building a lot of data centers. Texas has data centers being built. Seems like the data centers are like just popping up everywhere, and there's lots of money going into data centers. So this is something that's huge moving forward. Even NVIDIA, which is like an AI, which is data, they do so much over at NVIDIA. That's why they're so valuable as a company. But it's just a lot going on. We talked about semiconductors. That is one that you could dial in a category all in of itself. Again, if you watch my video, you know that I have Taiwan Semi, AMD, which is one we just talked about. But that whole area, it's like almost if you can get into a product or into a company that does everything from, say, cybersecurity to cloud storage to semiconductors, AI, kind of does it all like that, a one-stop shop. You're going to get a supercharged mega stock, especially if you can get into it early. You do have some of the older companies like Intel, Broadcom, Qualcomm, Texas Instruments in the semiconductor arena. Another one that I would say you could take a look at just based on the way that the financial markets are kind of topsy-turvy. It's a more traditional play, gold mining stocks. One of those that come to mind is Barrick, gold mining stocks. If I look this up, there are a few others that you may be interested in, but if you guys are out there, yeah, Liquid says Palantir. Palantir is a good one. I've actually, I don't know if you guys watched that last video that I made, the top 12 stocks that I recently purchased in 2025. One of them being Win, which has nothing to do with technology. It's all about, fun entertainment, right? But yeah, as far as gold mining stocks, you have Newmont, you have Barrick Gold, Franco-Nevada. I'm sure Freeport-McMoRan would have to be on there. Angelo Gold, Ashanti, Royal Gold, Kinross Gold Corporation. I would say another thing to take into consideration is rare earth. Rare earth is huge. I mean, this is along the lines of, lithium or other types of metals, but rare earth, if you look at who's doing big things with that, the key to rare earth is not the mining necessarily, because you could get rare earth in your backyard. It's the refining of the rare earth. So you have MP Materials. This is big because right now most of the rare earth is actually refined in China. I think like 90% of it. So who's going to come in and help offset some of that rare earth refinement? Is it going to be Australia? Is it going to be the United States? Is it going to be Brazil? Is it going to be Greenland? I mean, one of the reasons they say that the United States wants to acquire Greenland is because of the rare earth. So We'll see what ends up happening with everything. But right now, China, they're a publicly traded, they're publicly traded in China, but they're not open to international. And that's the thing is that's one of the big things that Trump is trying to negotiate with China is getting China to open up to the rest of the world, which means that if China does that, then they have to come under the sphere of influence of the rest of the world. Trump just recently tweeted that out, that if China opened up more to the rest of the world or to the United States for more of a free trade, that it would be very beneficial for them. But China, they don't want to let Google in, they don't want to let Facebook in, they don't want to let WhatsApp, Instagram, all that stuff, because they don't want the Western sphere of influence to manipulate with propaganda or something like this. I mean, they call it the Great Firewall of China. Some of you probably already know about this, but yeah, who's all out there? We'll see who's out there. We got a couple likes coming in, so thank you to everyone who's liking the video. Let me know if you guys want more videos like this or what you guys like, and we'll keep pumping out videos. So see you all on the next one.